Yesterday, Piantkovsky, a Russian opposition analyst, wrote that now it is becoming clear why the Russians betrayed the Armenians, adding that it is because they were afraid of coming into conflict with Turkey. I don't think this was the case. The Russians were not afraid of coming into conflict with Turkey. Turkey was not threatening to cause any conflict in the Caucasus. Russia and Turkey jointly made a decision to divide the region. There was no objective to cause a conflict. Just like the agreement that Lenin and Ataturk had exactly a century ago, the Russians and Turks had the objective to establish an overland road over Syunik province. And this is still their objective since the West is viewed as the common enemy. And since the Turks are more flexible than the Russians, on the one hand, they are taking pro-Ukrainian actions and sending Bayraktars, and on the other hand, they are working with the Russians by sending Syrian mercenaries to fight against the Ukrainians and are not imposing any sanctions against Russia. What does it mean when Biden or Stoltenberg tell Turkey to decide which side it is on? They already know that it is not in the civilizational field of values through which the West is organizing spaces. Here there is a major issue. However, at the same time, it is obvious that they are not hurting ties with both of them. Currently, Russia is the major problem, and now they want to see what the next steps of Turkey will be. Now, this is very, very important for us Armenians because we need to understand that we are in a grasp.
Բայց այն հանգամանքը, որ նույն Վրաստանը, որը շատ զգուշ քաղաքականություն է վարում, տեսեք իրենք.
But look at Georgia, which is leading its policy very carefully. Look, the current ruling elite has a completely anti-Russian stance, but it is not imposing sanctions because it is trying not to oppose modern-day Russia. However, the people are holding pro-Ukrainian demonstrations on the streets and sending a massive amount of assistance to Ukraine.
Մասսայական օգնություն է տալիս դեպի Ուկրաինա ուղարկում, հա, եւ այսինքն.
So they work on both sides. But in any case, there is even a difference in terms of politics because the president and government have different stances. Yes, of course, they are more flexible. The approach to flexible politics goes to show that here there is an entity that is somewhat able to lead a policy.
Կարողանում է քաղաքականություն վարել։ Հայաստանում մենք պետք է ասենք, որ
in Armenia, we need to say that there is no entity and that Armenia is not showing any will to become an entity. If the incumbent authorities allow the emergence of at least a second axis, that would become a criterion for being an entity. But Armenia should not persecute the forces that currently have a pro-Western stance. That is to say, a stance that is currently in the interests of Armenia because the interests of Armenia for decolonization currently meet the interests of the struggle that the people of Ukraine are leading for decolonization and national liberation. However, Armenia continues to persecute those forces because the authorities are leading the trial to the finish line. They are sentencing, we reached Sasna Tsrer.
Բայց Հայաստանում այդ ուժերի հալածանք շարունակում է, որտեղ հիմա դատական գործընթացը ավարտին են հասցնում.
Yes, and I am saying this because it clearly shows that the incumbent political authorities of Armenia have no flexibility at all. If the situation in Armenia changes 180 degrees in the future, Armenia will need political forces representing that wing. This is a problem. 2 demonstrations were held in Armenia in support of Ukraine. Take a look at who showed up. Where are the pro-Western forces that consumed all the money received through grants? The pseudo-pro-American forces. You can tell. It becomes clear to everyone who truly represents the interests of Armenia today.
Pseudo-pro-American ուժերը։ Այդ զգացում է, որ բոլորի աչքի առաջ ակնհայտ է դառնում, թե Հայաստանում ով են իրականում ներկայացնում այն Հայաստանի այսօրվա շահերը։
Բաժանորդագրվեք ազգային ժողովրդավարական բևեռի YouTube-յան ալիքին։